done came back up once. Now it's done came back up twice. So I never really knew a whole lot about John Conyers and his politicking. I knew he was down for black people. I did know he was thorough for black people. But I heard that they used to call him the conscience of Congress. This is what I heard. Like I said, I wasn't real big in the political circle, so I don't ever remember hearing anybody call him the conscience of Congress. But I heard that's what they called him. That was his nickname. That was his moniker. That was his handle. You know, he was the conscience. I guess they figured that was some type of reverence for his tutelage, for his, down to earth demeanor. So they called him the conscience of Congress. When he died, they talked about him being the conscience of Congress. Then I noticed that right before John Lewis died, you went from John Conyers to John Lewis, and they started calling him the conscience of Congress. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I thought it was Conyers that was the conscience of Congress. Now you saying it was John Lewis as the conscience of Congress? Welcome aboard, Free, Dr. G. Hapslight. We got to get it in over here. So they were saying conscience of Congress about John Lewis after saying it about John Conyers. To me, John Lewis and John Conyers were not the same people. And y'all might know a little bit more about the two and might be able to bring some more commonalities together. But I knew John Conyers to be somebody that was really down for black folks in politics. I knew John Lewis to be that back in the 60s. Maybe off into the early 70s. But he spent pretty much his last 20 years caping for everybody else but us. You don't really have to cape for yourself. You got to put that cape on for others. You don't need a cape when you're at home. So, calling him the conscience of Congress, I'm like, well, are they doing it just as a black elder statesman and they just give that moniker to all black elder statesmen in Congress now? Is that what they're doing? Because if that's what they're going to do, and it's going to pass the name on, they're like, no, that because he did so much. Okay, whatever. He didn't do that much, but he did whatever. Freedom Rider, then whatever. White supremacy dick rider. Okay. Then John Conyers being who he was, and see, now that the HR 40 thing is starting to come back up, now they're starting to mention his name. I saw them mention his name about HR 40 and the conscience of Congress. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. He was the conscience of Congress, but he couldn't get the bill passed. John Lewis was the conscience of Congress, and they couldn't get the bill, and he couldn't get the bill passed. I don't even think he tried to get the bill passed. John Lewis was so middle of the road, I don't even think he tried to get HR 40 passed. So it is what it is. Now he gone. Conyers expired, Lewis expired. So who you got left? Who you got left you're going to get that moniker to? They gave it to the CBC. They gave the CBC the moniker conscience of Congress. So it's not an individual anymore who's done great things for black people. It's now the whole CBC who does nothing for black people. So you take it from John Conyers, who was for his people, So he was Black Lives Matter. Then you give it to John Lewis. Early on, he was Black Lives Matter. Then he went to All Lives Matter. What's her name? Shit. Kamala. When they met with Kamala, that's what she came with. The CBC has always been known as the conscience of Congress. She is a lyric-stealing bitch. The CBC ain't been known as the conscience of Congress. She took somebody else's lyric and put it over here in this song and was like, make it work. Speed up the beat. I mean, why would she say that shit? It's public. It's on her IG page. CBC has always been known as the conscience of Congress. How the fuck would you know? You didn't identify as black until you started running for politics. I bet you go back and ask her about some shit that John Conyers did. She can't tell you shit. 87? Shit. That's when they introduced the motherfucking HR 40 bill. 87. I was a senior in high school. Kamala was what, a sophomore in college? She was listening to Tupac and Snoop Dogg records in college. In 87. Smoking weed. Remember? Shit. So yeah, that's what I meant to say. They gonna give the same phrase, the same name. They just gonna give it across the board. Now it's just anybody that comes along black. You're the conscience of Congress. The conscience of Congress. Cory Booker stay long enough, he'll be the conscience of Congress. He might as well stay. He'll never go win the presidency. Ever. This year was as close as he'd ever get. And he was in the middle of the field, really to the bottom. Nope. Man, what's wrong with black barbershops now? Black barbershops, what's done happened to black barbershops to where, like, black barbershop used to be a place where black men could go and just, talk shit, be men. Black men could be men. And now you can't. You can't be men at barbershops anymore. Black barbershops. So I don't go to white barbershops, so I wouldn't know. I just be hearing people talk about all this shit that they encountering. One dude said he stopped going to a barbershop because the dude told him he couldn't cuss. He was like, man, we always cuss in here. He said, nah, we can't cuss no more. Because I got saved. What the fuck's that got to do with anything? Just because you got saved, all your customers are sinners. So now you're going to cut off all your customers' verbiage because you found Jesus. So there was no more cussing. Next week he came back, it was a sign. No cussing. This motherfucker put up a sign, Jesus. And I told him, I was like, man, I don't know the dude, man. Y'all ain't from around here. I don't know. But here's the thing. I bet you 10 donuts to a nickel. Pretty good odds here. 10 donuts to a nickel. That a woman is behind it. His woman must have found religion. His woman found religion, and they're changing him. She's changed. He's got to change to be with her, but now she's changing his business. His business ain't got shit to do with her, other than the fact that it helps take care of her. So she's going to tell you how to run your business. That's what I told her. I was like, I think a woman's behind it. So I'm going to find out. But yeah, and it's a crazy thing because I've been in barbershops with women, and I've had to get a point out, and I cuss. And I've been in barbershops, and I've been like, excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me, please. And I'll say my cuss word, and sometimes the women will be like, they kind of blush, like, oh, I didn't think you was going to say that. But then I've been in barbershops, too, where I was like, excuse me, ma'am, I just got to get this out. I get it out, she's like, that's all you got? Because they cuss more than you do. Now, I know it's all about being a gentleman and this, that, and the other. But if a woman gives you the provision to use profanity in front of her, use profanity in front of her. Don't be a bitch. I mean, you being a gentleman by saying excuse me right there. But if she gives you a provision to do that, hey, it is what it is. She's in there, her son's in there getting his haircut. You in there either getting your haircut, you might be in there getting your son's haircut, and you and your son, whatever. All them kids get cussed around. Yeah, all them kids cussing. Kids cuss crazy now. They don't cuss like we did like back in the day. We kind of cuss. We emulated our parents and shit. I emulated Richard Pryor records. I don't know why. Well, probably because I listen to Richard Pryor records. But anyways, no, I'm not getting over because I got to fucking get back over. But now, they can't cuss. I heard that shit, dog. I was dying. You tell somebody you can't cuss in the fucking barbershop? The Black Man's Country Club? The Black Man's Country Club. Pretty soon they're going to be the Black Man's Spa. The Black Man's Hair Garden. They're just going to soften everything up. Until they can just stir men around in a bowl. It's going to soften men up. Soften them right up. That's what they want. They equate a confident man with being a toxic man. So if you don't have confidence, you all slumped over and you all, that's what they say as a man. Motherfucker, that's not humble. You can be humbled. You can be a humbled individual, but you don't have to be humbled that way. Just saying. Tell you, Bree. Straight up soft serve. The Moisture House. That's all it is. It's to be the House of Moisture. Yep. The House of Moisture. Sure he is. Sure he is. Oh, man. But that's pretty much all I wanted. That's why I just said it. And another thing, I had to get that in about the conscience of Congress. I thought that was some bullshit. Kamala, she just steals lyrics. That was a Conyers thing. They made it a Lewis thing. Now they trying to make it a CBC thing. If you're gonna give CDC something, can CDC make sure black people get something? Fuck out of here. They ain't gave us shit. Y'all need to get your Auntie Maxine in order. I see her out there with her Stop Asian Hate sign. How come she ain't put out a Stop Black Hate sign? Has she got down to her district lately to see all the black homeless people? Black Lives Matter. That's black hate right there. Get down to your district, Maxine. Max doing the minimum. Bitch. Y'all be good. I don't know when I'll get back on here. I guess when I got something to say. That could be in 10 minutes. Or tomorrow. Ah, man. One love.